Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a beautiful Wednesday morning. We've got some beautiful Valorant planned for you guys this afternoon. My name is Wyatt. You can call me Swag, and I'm joined by Cootie and James. Gentlemen, how are you guys feeling this morning so far? It's a little early. We're just about midday, but what are your thoughts right now so far?
Hello, Wyatt. We're excited to see this match. We're gonna see some mixed kills here today. A few new players, a few experienced players. So excited to see what's the outcome of this map.
And James, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts so far today? Are you excited?
Yeah, definitely an exciting game today. Like, this is one of the best games we're gonna see so far. And the storyline is great today, so I'm just excited.
Indeed, for those who do not know at home, we've got the Silly Gooses versus the Goofy Goobers for today. But I think we're going to take a look at the bracket so far before we get into the teams, before we get into talking to the players. But as mentioned before, it is going to be, I believe, a best of one Valorant today as we take a look right now at the bracket. Let's see how these players have gone up against each other. We can see in the top end of the bracket, M80 were beat out by the Silly Gooses, and then the Goofy Goobers beating OG 2-0. Now, Cootie, talking about that 2-0 from the Goofy Goobers, what does that tell you about them going into the grand finals right now? Are they confident? Are they pumped? Are they on a good winning streak? What are you thinking right now about that?
I think they're gonna have a confident approach. They come from a flawless win, so I think they're gonna show up and they're gonna ride the game.
Indeed, and then James, talking about the other side, talking about the Silly Gooses, talking about them beating over M80, definitely a well-known team in the scene. Do you think that was a big achievement for them, and do you think they're pumped to be able to be here in the grand finals?
I think it's a massive achievement. M80, massive tier 1 org. Beating them is fantastic. I think they have a lot of momentum going into this game.
Indeed, and I think I hear from Prod we're going to get into some team lineups, so we'll actually be able to dive in on who will be our first team for today. Let's take a look at the board. The first team that we've got up is the Goofy Goobers. We've got Varsiel, we've got Jacob Bain, we've got Hayes, we've got Human, and we got Steve Reel. And gentlemen, looking at this team so far, the one that is speaking to me so much is Varsiel. We talk about him. We talk about his experience on the Academy roster last year for Valorant. Cootie, what does that tell you about how he's going to perform today?
I think Carr has the experience to lead his team to a victory. He has knowledge, and I think if he makes the play calls, he can lead his team to a victory 100%.
Indeed. Now, James, thinking about that, he played last year for our Academy roster, so he's had a little bit of an off season. Do you think that's going to impact his gameplay at all? The fact that he hasn't been practicing daily or bi-weekly, do you think that's going to come into this game, or do you think it's going to be like bread and butter, he's back on the game, nothing has ever changed?
I think it's definitely gonna have an impact on this gameplay today, but I wouldn't even say in a negative way, because if you don't play for like a long time, sometimes you just peak when you get back to a game. So definitely going to be sort of a coin flip today, but I think it's going to be good.
Indeed, it's going to be interesting to see how he plays coming back into the scene. But now I think we're going to take a look at our second team for today. Let's take a look at the Silly Gooses. Let's see the roster that we have up for them right now. It's looking like we got Bendy, we got Oppie, we got Hayden, we got Adam, and we also have Christian. And gentlemen, there's two players on this roster that I think we have to talk about, mainly two of your teammates. I'm going to throw it over to you, Cootie. Looking at Bendy, how do you think he's going to perform in this game as Valorant not being his main game?
I think he's gonna adapt good since he used to play another game competitively, so he has experience. I think he has also good comms, so he's gonna be able to adapt, and I'm excited to see how he transitions to Valorant.
So now over to you, James. Talking about Christian, he has titled himself as a gold menace on a good day. Do you think that good day is going to be today, or do you think he's going to have a little bit of a hard start in this match?
I absolutely think it's going to be a good day today for him. I've seen him warm up earlier, playing deathmatch, and he was actually peaking out of his mind. Like, I've never seen him play that good, even in Rocket League.
Indeed, and I think those two players are definitely going to be some people to watch out for. But, gentlemen, the other two that we do have to watch out for, which is the storyline that we're going to be following today, is going to be Carl Varsiel versus Phaser Hayden. what we're going to be doing first, before we go into talking a little bit about that story, we have a little bit of a video from one of our current Valorant varsity players, Mr. JP. Production, let's take it away. Let's see this video.
I was always the type of kid that was like on my computer all the time. And I grew up watching CS players, and I was watching Fallen, Code Zero, Fear, FMX, and I watched them like lift so many trophies that my dream was to be like one of them.
He makes it look so easy, finding another one and a third. Why not? Can he get the fourth? He does. JP with a huge...
Actually, I used to play with Aspas on CS, and he got banned on CS, and I got banned with him. And I still don't know why, and that made me like really sad at the time, because I was like trying to build myself a name, and I got banned for no reason. Because of that, I had to start over. So I had to create a new account, I had to buy another PC, I had to do a lot of stuff because I was not cheating. Even after I got banned, I was playing like a lot. I was probably playing like 150 hours of CS a week or something like that. But I just felt that I wasn't good enough. But then I heard the news that like Riot was launching a new FPS game. So my thought process was, this new game no one has ever played. My chances of actually becoming a professional are way like higher than playing CS. So when Valorant launched, and my CS duo said, yo, we gotta hop on Valorant, and I was like, no. But he convinced me with the same words that I just said. And when the game officially launched, I was also one of the first in Brazil to get Radiant, and I was already like playing all the tournaments, and I was playing at the highest level at the moment. So yeah, because of this, I saw the opportunity to grow and to stick to this game. My best friend came with me, so all the struggles, they became like opportunities to laugh. We had to walk, if I'm not mistaken, 2 hours to go to Walmart to buy groceries, and this sounds awful, but like that was my dream, to move to Canada and move to America. So like I cannot be sad or like feeling like miserable because I need to do this kind of stuff, because that was my dream and now I get to live it. So yeah, so it was a really good time actually, and it was a great time in America, and it's been like an even more greater time in here. Like we all internationals, we hear is that getting American visas are like close to impossible, and getting like Canadian visas are like way easier. So that's what I thought. So when I got my American visa, it was really easy. So because of this, I thought the Canadian visa was gonna be even easier. But then I submitted my first application, I got denied in 7 days. It won't work anymore, because now I'm gonna have to gather new documents, make a new application, pay all the fees again. For me, that was impossible. So I applied, and I remember I was checking the IRCC page maybe 6 or 7 times a day, and I was like losing my hair, losing my mind over it. I was getting sad, depressive. And 3 days before my flight, I got the notification saying that my application was like had changed. I felt like I was having a heart attack. I opened and I was approved. In the span of like 3 days, I got everything solved. I really hope to be able to stay here until I graduate, and to be even more involved with the program and the school as I can, because it feels really good. I still have a lot of things that I want to win and I want to prove myself, but yeah, I'm really happy to like what my esports passion led me so far.
On our varsity roster right now. And an even better story to talk about is a story that he has with Hayden and Carl on both teams right now, facing off against each other. Both star-studded students from the teacher, the master himself, JP, learning the ways of Valorant, are playing against each other today for one reason and one reason only. Who is the better student? who has taken more knowledge from their learnings and who will be able to apply it better in the game. As we head to our head-to-head, we'll get to see these two players' stats and see how just great they have been and how they have been performing so far within the entirety of their time so far here at St. Clair. We'll take a look over at Carl. 9 kills, 5 deaths, and a 9,000%. Cootie, what does that tell you right now with that high of a percentage over on Carl?
Yeah, I think Carl is gonna be the main on that roster. He's gonna lead his team. Also, like you said, it's gonna be interesting one because they learn from the same teacher. They got the same fundamentals, so it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be really exciting.
Indeed, and then James, tossing it over to you to talk a little bit more about Hayden. Hasn't shown too much in the past as a student of JP, but he does have a lot of previous experience with Counter-Strike, the same scene that JP left to come into Valorant. Do you think that's going to play a factor into how he competes, into how well he does in this game, the fact that he has previous experience in similar games? Or do you think the experience that Carl has is just going to trump him in every aspect?
I mean, they sort of have a similar experience in that regard, and I also think he's gonna be the underdog for sure, but I still think he's gonna show up today. I feel like it's a day performance based game, and he's gonna have it today.
Indeed, and there are some good stakes on the line. We can see with one team right now, we can see Mr. Jacob right there. As we take a look at the map bans, it looks like, I believe, we've banned out a couple maps here. Can't quite see which map we're going to be going to. I believe it's going to be Pearl as the first map we're going to be going to, which is going to be a very interesting map to see. I haven't seen a lot of Pearl myself in my days in casting, but it's going to be very interesting to see how both of these players play. And I think the other thing that we do have to mention about, I was mentioning about those stakes, we talk about how these players are playing off against each other, how these students are going head to head. The loser of this match, gentlemen, if you did not know, banished from St. Clair College, banished from the grounds of which they stand on currently, and the winner gets to continue their studies under the wise master of JP. Now, just off of that alone, Cootie, do you think that has a little bit of pressure put onto both of these players' shoulders, or do you think that's something that they're not considering right now?
I think right now there is too much on the line. I think the players are gonna feel the pressure. It's gonna be a good match, and yeah, let's see who comes up with the win and who's gonna have to find a new school.
Indeed, and then James, tossing it over to you quickly, just to get a quick answer from you on this. Momentum going into this game, how do you think that's going to play? Do you think it's going to be a big thing, or do you think just the individual experience that we have across the board with the mixed teams that we have is going to trump any kind of other aspect that goes into this game?
I think the experience they have and also the stakes they're on right now matters the most. I feel like that's more of a part than momentum, because at every round you can always do a comeback, especially when the stakes are that high, right? So I think it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and then talking about that, gentlemen, getting into a little bit of some predictions. Let's see who we're going to be starting with right now. I think we're going to be starting with myself, going off of what we have so far, what we know about both of the teams. I'm going to be honest, I think I'm going to have to take the Silly Gooses here. I think that is the team that I want to see win, not just because of the story that we see from the side of Carl coming back after his experience in the academic team here at St. Clair, but also knowing that this team has done practice in preparation for this game. They were scrimming, they were communicating, they were working together, which is something that I haven't seen the Goobers do a lot. So you got to give me the Gooses on that one. And Cootie, I'm going to throw it over to you. Who do you have winning the game?
For this one, I'm gonna go with the Goofy Goobers, since they got Alpi. She's been performing really good. So I think she's gonna lead the team to the victory, and it's gonna be a huge piece for them today.
Well, James, you are the deciding factor here. The table is so far split 50-50. Are you going to be going with the Goobers with the star-studded Game Changers team member Oppie, or are you going to be going over to the other side with the Silly Gooses, where we do have Mr. Carl Godin playing for them? Who do you pick right now?
Yeah, so I have to agree with Cudi. I think the Goofy Goobers have the upper hand today. Just individual talent base, they're just better today, I think.
All right, so we've got a little bit of Goofy Goobers over against the Silly Gooses. You know, I think it's very interesting, and it is something that you have to consider as well. You know, we talk about Hayden, who's on this roster to prove himself, has a little bit of support from Oppie on the team as well. Very good, very high level Valorant player, which I think the other team is going to be looking at and saying, oh my lord, that's going to be a card in a mountain that we have to go over. But ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to be going into games soon. I think we're going to be casting it over to our casters. Let's toss it over to them. Let's toss it over to Evan. Let's toss it over to Kevin. Gentlemen, please take it away for us. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I hear that we're going to be casting here on the desk. Let's take it away. Looking so far, gentlemen, I think we'll be a little unprepared for this, but you know what? It's going to be a good time. We're going to get to talk about it. You know, we have Pearl right now, and it looks like on both sides. Let's talk about the Silly Gooses right now. We see Varseal on Phoenix, and look at the other side as well. We got Christian over against that new character, Vito. It's going to be very interesting to see how that character plays. You know, if you guys haven't understood, a lot of what that character brings to the game is a lot of invulnerability, a lot of denying of utility. It's going to be very interesting to see how they play here, but so far, like, how are you guys feeling with the characters that we have selected? Both teams are running a lot of duelists, so Cudi, are we expecting a lot more aggression, or are we going to be a little slower in this game? What do you think?
I think this map is going to get real mixy. I think we're going to see a lot of aggressive plays. And yeah, we're in a best of one, so I think the first couple rounds are going to be crucial for the teams. We'll see who comes with the win, who comes out with the win.
Yeah, and we can see Boehner looks like he's getting one so far onto Oppie. Mimikyu, though, dropping two on both duelists. To the other side of the Silly Goose is now Bendy hopping in very quickly there on that waylay. But gentlemen, I hear we've got a special appearance from Evan and Kevin on the desk. Gonna be handing it over to them right now. Gentlemen, take it away.
Well, thank you, Wyatt. We figured out our tech problems, and now we're in the game. I mean, we got started now, and it looks like both sides all up to Christian for the Goofy Goobers in the pistol round. Looking for the first one. He does find Human. Hayes very low HP. Christian in a very advantageous position to get this. He's going to make the plant and win with the clutch in the pistol round as the Goofy Goobers open it up, winning their first round.
Well played from Christian in that 2v1. Took his time, played it slow, you know, surprisingly.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, a bit surprising, you know, we talked about that Christian, you know, might not have as much experience in Valorant as some other games. You know, he's a Rocket League specialist, right, on our Rocket League Gold team. So coming to Valorant, it's a tough transition, right? Like, very different from Rocket League. So seeing him succeed, very nice to see. I mean, a lot of game left to go, but the Goobers with a bit of advantage here, get some rifles online, get some equipment, now you can really press the issue.
Look at this Neon going straight into connector. Wow, they're going really aggressive. Does Human have any time to get the kill? Oh, wow. Look at the kill on from Human. You get picked off. Phaser's pushing down long with the scout. I wonder what's going to happen here now. Are they going to take their time? Try and find the connector clearance? Oh, wow. What a kill from the Rays.
Yeah, that's Boehner finding a pick, but getting traded out immediately after. Christian does get the spike down for the Goobers, so the onus is on the Geese to get back onto the point. Hayes does find a pick, but gets traded out by Bendy. Immediately after Varcio, though, with the Sheriff finding Mimic.
Oh, he has a
2v2
Phoenix
now.
ult. He just used his Phoenix ult. Looks like he's going to try and find a pick. Does he get the kill?
One enemy
Christian
remaining.
gets another kill.
Yeah, Bendy's just absolutely going crazy for the Goobers. That's his 4th pick of that round, getting that kill onto Varciel. I mean, the guys, the analysts were really hyping up the Goobers, and it looks like they've come to play today. They're not just Oppie. Bendy has been a huge impact player for the Goobers team. They're coming in with a bit of a chip on their shoulder, and I think they're making a really good start.
Maybe the Goobers have a little bit of pressure on them. Maybe they're feeling the tense pressure and they're not able to withhold or stand themselves. Do they have confidence, Evan? Do you think, or do you think they're losing it?
I think they have confidence. I mean, it looks like, to me, Oppie is most likely going to be the IGL of the Goofy Goobers, and you got Varciel on the other side with the Silly Gooses. So anything can happen.
Yeah, I'm thinking that maybe looks like they're going for a fast A play. Russian sight. They got the spike down right away. Looks like Phaser got the pick. Oh, Varciel's stuck inside Deadlock's trap. I wonder if he's going to push up to the kill. Bendy with the kill. Is Varciel with? No, Varciel gets the kill and trades him. Oh, Steve's pushing flowers. Is he going to get control of that? Let's see if he gets the kill. Oh, Phaser gets another pick. That's 2 for Phaser on the round. Is Varciel going to try and clutch this? Okay, Varciel gets 2. Does he get the 3rd? Oh, Varciel gets the 3rd. Is he going to clutch this 1v2? Let's find out in the next couple seconds. Puts up his Phoenix wall. Gets a 4th. Is he going to get the ace? Oh, no.
Varciel with perfect timing to find Phaser while he's in
Does he get
his
a last-second
home and
defuse?
smoke, and
Oh.
Varciel not only gets the ace, but gets the defuse for the Silly Gooses. My goodness. Varciel back like he never left, running the floor for the Silly Gooses.
That was beautiful play from Varciel. He had confidence there. Maybe he's got his skills still. He wasn't that rusty like I thought.
Unk certainly is not washed. He is back in the game, and the Gooses get on the board finally after what looked like a very dominant start from the Goofy Goobers, denying them the bonus round as well.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by that. I'm very curious to see how he's going to play for the rest of the game. Is he going to keep that performance up and, keep the Goobers from sitting back, or is the Goose going to succumb to them?
The Goose may indeed be loose in this case. We're going to have to see, like we said, got some heavy hitters on both sides. Varciel and Phaser fighting for their St. Clair lives here. Look at that, Varciel, and calling his name a lot, finding that pick onto Bendy, trying to wait out this Viper wall, but Christian does have an angle here, is going to try and get closer, and does beat out Varciel. Does find his head quicker. Hayes adding one as well. Stev getting traded up by Christian. The lone member left alive for the Goobers is going to fall to Hayes. Another big play for the Silly Gooses, and they tie it back up.
Yeah, I'm thinking also Varciel got a couple kills in the last 2 rounds. He might have his Phoenix zone. He's going to use it again soon, possibly. Is that going to turn the round around for those on the side of Silly Goose? I wonder what their plan is for this round. How are they going to set up site? How are they going to execute site? Is this Neon going to defend close connector doors, or is he going to run out and make quickly? Going to find out in the next couple seconds.
Well, I believe that Neon, that must be Oppie. So you would think with her picking Neon, you would have to imagine that the play would be to get aggressive right now. I think if you know you have skill, especially in these 1v1 gunfights, I think it would be advantageous to just try and press the issue, try and push the pace of the game, play aggressive, maybe get the Silly Gooses off kilter, and just find a way to, get them off their game here. But good start from Bendy, getting traded out by Varciel right after side switch. As we get into this second half of this Swift play match on Pearl, both teams knotted at 2. Big round coming up here, Swifted.
Yeah, no, for sure. I wonder if this Viper's going to be able to hold out this long push. Looks like somebody's flanking from middle. The Steve helper. Does Varciel get the kill, possibly? We're about to find out in the next couple seconds. Oh, Varciel gets picked off by Phaser. Wow, double kill from Phaser. Really well played. Is he going to still commit to this fight, or is he going to play passive? Looks like somebody's flanking from elbow. Oh, Viper got the kill. That's good.
Camera taken
Human
out.
find his pick. Nope, Phaser with the triple kill in the round. Wow, well played from Hayden.
Yeah,
He's holding his ground.
It was Phaser's turn to be the impact player. I know he's going to be happy about getting that pick onto Varsiel. I think there was some trash talking going back and forth between these two sides. You know, a lot on the line here in this Valorant match. I mean, like, the loser not able to step foot in St. Clair College anymore after today's game. So, like we said, big stakes, big pressure on either side, and so far it's been a very exciting match. I think both teams are definitely trying to fight for their St. Clair lives, but the onus is now on the Silly Gooses. It's their time to try and get back into it, but that's not a good start as Bendy finds that opening pick onto Varsiel. That's the Silly Gooses' heavy hitter, already down to start. We'll see how they respond, missing their IGL.
I wonder how Oppie's going to be playing. I haven't really seen too much presence from Oppie really at all. You know, that's kind of surprising considering that's their star player on their team. So far, Bendy looks like he's doing a lot of work. Is he going to get another pick with that rifle or scout? Let's see in the next couple seconds. Looks like Raze is pushing up. Does Viper withhold this? Okay, Bendy with another kill. Oh, a little bit of an interesting gunfight from Viper. See if he uses his utility to get rid of that Vise in the corner. Oh, is Oppie going to make the play? Okay. Nice.
We talk about the Viper, and that's Mimic on the Viper, but hold on, we got to hop on board with Hayes. I mean, he was absolutely going crazy before Christian ends his run as we get a look on the side of the Goofy Goobers. They have to be feeling good now. I mean, he got the advantage. Match point now in this Swift play match. So Silly Goose is on the ropes now. They need to find something. Varsiel needs to lead his team to victory here, or else the Goofy Goobers are going to call this one a W.
Maybe Varsiel's going to lock in this round.
Look how locked in Boehner is right now. Just an absolute specimen, an absolute demon for the Silly Gooses. We haven't seen a lot of him today. We need to make sure that he has a big impact for his team. Like you said, your backs are against the wall. Varsiel opening up the round with a double. That's got to extend their lives a little bit. You have to be feeling good after your coach, your IGL, has made a hot start, but look at Phaser as well, responding in kind, taking out Miguel. So Goofy Goobers aren't going to go down without a fight here as Christian hopping up, finding two. Varsiel and Boehner going down. Can't get that third pick there, trading out shots.
Does Christian stay alive with 1 HP against Varsiel, or do you think Varsiel's going to get the pick on him? Oh, it looks like Viper has an op. He's going to be holding the cross. Oh, now they know Viper's position.
Bold choice giving Mimic the op. This is the first time he's played Valorant PC today. Give him the op. That's a big ask for that team.
100%, I agree.
Oh, and he kills it.
The kill.
Oh, he lives up to the moment. Mimic with the finishing blow, the silencer. He never played Valorant PC until this morning, and he gets the winning pick for his team. The Goofy Goobers win the day, get to stay alive at St. Clair College. What a match from both sides. I mean, really impressive stuff on all facets.
Yeah, 100%. Like he said this morning, he hasn't played the game at all, and he just won the game for his team. I think that's a lot of confidence for him.
That absolutely is. We're going to have to take a look at some stats to really see how this one ended up, and just, you know, maybe get a look at the players, you know, just to see what their reaction is like to this resounding victory for the Goofy Goobers. I mean, we were predicting it was going to be a lot closer than it really was, but it turns out that both sides were fairly evenly matched, I'd say, or maybe not evenly matched. I think it was the Goofy Goobers that maybe had a little bit more of an advantage, but we're going to give it right back now to our analyst desk, and they're going to break this down a little bit. Wyatt, I'm going to ask you first to throw it to you. What was your reaction to that game that we just saw?
I mean, that was an absolutely gobsmacking game. I mean, we look over at the Goobers who have taken it for today. Definitely great performance from them so far. We saw some pretty good plays throughout that entire match. I mean, gentlemen, Cootie, James, talk to you a little bit about it. I think the ones that we definitely got to mention was that Bendy 4K on the second round, the Varsiel ace third round to get them their first win, to start to bring it back in the entire game, and also to talk about another guy in the entire game, talking about Phaser. Phaser was just absolutely destroying everybody in the game. I had talked to him previously beforehand, and, you know, at the start he was like, this is cooked. We're done. Like, this is over for us. But then 5-10 minutes before the actual game started, he came to me and said, Wyatt, I'm locked in. It's over for them. It's over. It's done. And you know what? All the time, I didn't believe him truly. But now, looking at how the game went, he was just popping off. And to throw it over to you, Cootie, how did you think that game went? It was very close. Did you expect it to go that close? Or did you think it was going to be a little more one-sided?
Nah, I did expect to be this close. Honestly, the Goobers, it seems like their communication was on point. They were coordinated on the map. And I think their individual moments were huge for them. I think they got like individual like pop off, and yeah, I think that's why they got the win today.
Indeed, and James, to toss it over to you, what did you think about the match? Did you think that there was anybody that was like stuck out to you as like the best player in the entire lobby? Because we had talked about it before. We had talked about how we were expecting Oppie to just go ballistic in the entire match. But if I'm going to be honest with you, it seemed like Oppie was a little shut out the entire game. So is there anybody else you want to bring some like attention to that you think was like that player, that person in the entire lobby?
Yeah, even though I was glazing Christian beforehand, I gotta say he still surprised me. Seeing him in like the last round, just like being in the corner, sneaky, getting 3 or 4 kills, I can't even count anymore. Like that was actually insane to watch. And also just in general, the highlights we've seen in this entire game, they were actually crazy. Like it was insane gameplay.
Indeed, I mean, there was so many moments where we got either a collat kill, say from Hayes, getting 3, but then getting traded out, sadly, or even if we talk about Christian, you know, him saying before going into it that he's a gold on his best day. My friend, you just diffed out a GC player. Like, take that to heart. Take that to the bank and spend it. Like, that is something that you should be proud of after this game, is achieving that. So, all the best to the Goofy Goobers. I think we're going to be getting probably some stats or a little bit of an end of the match in just a few moments. But to talk about it a little bit more, you know, we did have a little bit of discussion on like whether the match was going to be close or whatnot, and we talked about that. We said that it was pretty close. You know, it was just about to the end even until we got to that 5th and final round. But talking about it a little bit more, looking at the individual skill and the team structure, we talked about how the individual team skill was going to trump a little bit of the entire team, like team meshing together, like the ability for them to coordinate as one. But it looked like throughout that there wasn't really any player that I saw that was alone by themselves or didn't really shine in their own way. Would you agree with me, Cootie, on that, saying that every player had their own kind of starring moment?
No, yeah, 100%. Every play had their moment. We saw Christian popping a 3-piece. We saw like Bendy popping a 4K. So yeah, honestly, I'm surprised that those players popped off. And like you said, I was expecting a little bit more out of Oppie, but at least the team was able to carry them to the victory. So
indeed, and now I think we're going to be getting to a little bit of an MVP. Let's see who has achieved that accolade for today in the game. I believe it's going to be Bendy, so we should be getting a little bit of a look at that sometime soon. But just to talk off of that, I think the biggest thing that we have to accommodate to that achievement from Bendy's side was that 4K on the second round, beating out a lot of star-studded players on the other team. I think that's something that we have to mention and something that we have to consider when like calling him that MVP, that most valuable player. And to actually ask you, Jazzy, James, who would you think was going into it you thought would be the most underrated player, and then actually in the game was able to shine the brightest?
Yeah, so honestly, from the beginning, I thought the most underrated player would be Christian, but Bendy actually surprised me a lot. Like, he's a professional COD player, so he has some aim, but on controller, right? So him playing Valorant on mouse and keyboard, a device he's never using, and being that good is actually insane to me.
Indeed, it was very insane. It was very good to see him, how he played and whatnot. And I think even sometimes, you know, we talk about Oppie, we talk about Varsiel as well, expecting them to be the top fraggers in the game, but Cootie, it didn't really seem like they were at all like carrying the weight of the team on their backs. It seemed, as we said before, a little spread out, like everybody had their shining moments. Do you think that would attribute to like anything in the pre-game, like warming up and stuff like that, why we didn't see Varsil shine as brightly as we do see him? Or do you think it was just jitters getting back into the game, having not played in a while, that contributed to that factor of him not being the entire leader of the team?
I think Barshal did a pretty good job. I think he he did a pretty good job. I think he was able to pop off some good kills, but I don't think the team's structure was the best. They didn't look coordinated, or they didn't know what was the exact game plan. So they were lacking on that a little bit, but yeah.
All right, and I think, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for a little bit of an MVP graphic. Let's toss it over to there. Let's see the stats of our star-studded MVP, Mr. Bendy himself from the Call of Duty varsity team. Look at that right there. Kills 9, deaths 6, assists 3, and AVG combat score 372. All very good numbers for the Silly Gooses player. And tossing back to you, Cootie, looking at your teammate playing in this game, did you have high expectations that he would become the MVP of the roster, knowing that they had other very well-known players like Christian, like Oppie, and like Adam and Hayden? Or did you think he was going to, I believe as we asked him before, he was going to be in that kind of mid-range, you know, not the top fragger, not the bottom fragger, but just an all-round well player? Did you expect the MVP out of him today?
I didn't expect the MVP at all, because Bendy, he doesn't play Valorant much, but I did have some expectations for him, because I know Call of Duty is a high ceiling game. There is like too much going on, and you gotta be super aware. So I was expecting him to do good, but not this good, honestly. He surprised me.
Indeed, and tossing it over to you, James, did this surprise you as well, coming in with the MVP? Again, mentioning that we had talked that Oppie was going to be like our, yeah, you know what, GC player, best on the team, got to be the MVP. Is this surprising you as well?
It's definitely surprising. Like, I don't think we even mentioned Bendy a lot before the game, because we didn't think he would be that much of a main character in the game, but he actually is the guy. He is him.
Indeed, he was him. He was the main character of the team, taking over that MVP. Congratulations over to Bendy with that achievement for today. And to talk a little bit, like winding down, you know what? I think something that I want to ask out is, I want to ask both of you gentlemen what you think that, actually, never mind. I think we're going to be throwing it into a little bit of an interview. I believe we're going to be getting the MVP on here. Let's take a look. Mr. Bendy himself, how are you feeling after that match? A close game there. What do you think? Like, what are your thoughts in all afterwards now here?
You know, feeling great. Team had full confidence in winning the game, you know, and we succeeded.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, now, Cootie, James, I'm going to leave the floor open to you. Cootie, start us off with an interview question. What do you want to ask your teammate here about last game?
Hey, Bendy, first I want to say congrats for the win and the MVP. And I want to ask you, how did it feel to transition from controller to mouse and keyboard in a whole different game?
You know, it was definitely a bit difficult, but just had to evolve, start using a different, you know, input.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Beautifully said.
Thank you, and congrats again.
James, what is your comment? What do you want to ask the MVP here today?
So first of all, congratulations on your win tonight. That was incredible to see. And my question is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how much does your back hurt now after carrying your team to the win?
I'd say 1. My team, you know, everyone did their part. Everyone shined, you know. All the work that they put in, you know, made my job easier.
Beautifully said, beautifully said. Well, Bendy, thank you so much for joining us here in the interview. Congrats again across the board to you and your achievement today. We look to see you again sometime back here with the Silly Gooses. And gentlemen, I think we're almost ready to wrap it up. And the question that I was going to pose to both of you guys beforehand, having watched the game, having seen how both teams prepared for it, went into it, and played, we obviously saw the Goobers did a lot of pre-game prep for this, trying to work together as a team. Cootie, What do you think they can do better to come back next time and absolutely obliterate the Silly Gooses? Do they have to work more on individual skill? Do they have to work more together as a team? Do they need more macro? Do they need more micro? What is the one thing? Pick one advice that you want to give to this team to improve if they had to play the Silly Gooses again.
I think they gotta get some work on the macros. They gotta be clear on what's gonna be their game plan for each situation, and also they might need a little bit of reps too. So for sure, we're gonna see a better version of them next time. And yeah, that's my main insight.
Tossing the same question over to you, James. What's one piece of advice that you want to give over to the Goobers to improve for next time when they come to play against the Silly Gooses again?
So I definitely think they have to work on their comms. Like sometimes you could see two people holding the same angle, but they wouldn't like aim or like fight off each other. They would just like go individually into the duels. So that's like one thing. If they improve that, I think they will be back so much stronger.
Indeed, they do have to improve on that kind of communication, as both of you guys were talking about, that team synergy, that working together, that understanding of, okay, you're going to be holding this ankle, I'll be able to trade for you, or I'll be able to support you on the back. It seemed like the Silly Gooses did have that synergy and had that understanding, as we had a bunch of them who had played on some Tier 1 rosters and some very good competitive teams here at St. Clair. So that scene, like that kind of element was there, but the rest of it for the other team, as much as they tried to work together and build some synergy amongst themselves, it just wasn't enough to combat what the Silly Gooses has brought today. And I think on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be closing it out. You know, Cootie, James, we're going to have a little bit of a highlight reel, a little bit of a replay of the last game before we're going to be ending it out. But I believe the one thing that I want to ask you guys before we go is, what final thoughts do you have? Do you have anything that you guys want to say finally to the teams? Any final comments? Anything about today? How did you feel? What were your thoughts about the entire broadcast? Short answers, quick, 5 words, go.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised. Like the beginning of the map was pretty even. They were too tight. And
Jazzy, there for you. 5 words, let's go.
Insane game.
Insane.
Thanks for watching.
And Jude, thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time. We'll cut it to a little bit of a highlight reel. Everybody have a great Wednesday afternoon, and we'll see you on again in the next one.